morning, everybody. So, a little while ago, I sent one of these balls, actually I sent two, to my son and my daughter-in-law. And then I thought, you know what, there's loads of stuff we can do with them. Maybe I'll just do a little demonstration. So, here I am. So, my name is Rosie. I do yoga in North Devon, North Cornwall. And around about. My website is Rosie Lewis Yoga. If you enjoy this, then please just let me know. So, how to use the small ball. Now these, you've probably all seen this before. They're normally classed as Pilates balls, I guess. I use them a lot in my yoga practice. The other ones that have a stopper, they come with a straw. You can inflate them, pop the stopper in. So there's always going to be a bit squidgy, which is why they're so lovely for yoga, I think. So I just thought I'd kind of share what I use it for in my classes and in my own practice, and hopefully it's helpful to you. It may give you some ideas. If you have any other ideas, then again, please just let me know in the comments. So I normally, where's my blanket? Oh, there it is behind me. I use a blanket sometimes in my lower back. So if I'm doing something quite strong, doing some core work, just put a little blanket under my back rather than a cushion, which is a bit big. So maybe have one of those handy to you. And let's go. Let's see how we get on. So the balls are basically, I use them a lot for bridge pose. I use them a lot for doing some core work as well. But there's so many things we can do. So one of the things I quite often just like to do is just rest it on my tummy, interlace my fingers over the top of the ball, and just take maybe 5 deep breaths to really feel that I'm puffing the ball up with my breath. So sinking my breath down. Remember, we call it our belly breath. We know we don't really breathe in our belly, but we use the diaphragm. And then as we exhale, kind of a little bit of extra pressure. So we almost bring this ball into the abdominal area and just do some very gentle little circles. Do it clockwise. So it's pubic bone, right hip, sternum, left hip. That's the way that our body works. So this is one of the few circles in yoga that we don't undo. This is giving our internal organs a little massage, helping our digestive system maybe. Fabulous. So very often, as I think I said in bridge pose, one of the most useful things I find is just to put the ball between the thighs, just so it's level with the knees. And just keep it there. So we can squeeze the ball a little bit here, so we can feel we're engaging the outer thighs and the glutes a little bit. And we just gently, maybe just keep it there to begin with so it doesn't fall out as we come into our bridge. So we're going to keep the feet nice and flat, hands walking down as if you're trying to touch your heels. And just slowly and gently roll up. So without squeezing the ball, you're keeping your thighs parallel to each other. Very often in bridge pose, we don't notice it perhaps unless we're looking, but sometimes our legs fall open, sometimes they fall in. So nice and gently, we've just started our practice, so we're not going bananas. What we can do here, which is how I now do bridge all the time, is lift the front of your feet off the floor. What you will feel without squeezing the ball is as soon as you come up, those glutes get involved. I'm having issues with my lower back, with my hip, according to a lot of the videos I've been watching and the therapists and massage guys, etc. A lot of us have weak glutes. I am guilty. I have weak glutes. I actually don't have a bottom. I spent the whole childhood trying to hide it so that, these jeans don't make my bum look big, kind of thing. And now, of course, we're kind of paying for it. So just with the heels on the ground only, I can feel it's much stronger. So we can let the feet go down again. So now we're going to squeeze the ball as we come up, and we kind of build the squeeze up. So as we roll up, there's no squeeze to begin with, then we gently squeeze as we come right up to the top, and then we slowly and gently lower it back down. So we lose the squeeze between the thighs as you come down. Let's try that a few more times maybe. So the feet are flat, we're just squeezing the ball as we come up, feeling those outer thighs, the IT bands maybe working as well. And if you feel you need to realign the ball a little bit, then please do. And then we're going to repeat that with our feet, front of our feet off the ground again. So again, we build that squeeze up. So for me, this is super strong. Feet off the ground, squeezing the ball, slowly, super slowly, rolling back down. It feels very stable for me with my feet like this, just the heels on the ground, squeezing, slowly and gently releasing down. Maybe let's just do one. So I'm just doing kind of 3 of each. Always know this is just a kind of a suggestion for you guys about if you've got a ball and you fell up doing the same thing with it, maybe this is a bit different. So what we can do now is let the feet come down the ground. We could just stretch one leg out, bend that leg, we stretch the other leg out. Fabulous. So then we're going to walk those feet a bit closer again. Maybe realign the ball if you feel you need to. You want to get it so it feels very stable. It's not going to pop out either side. Hands coming down again. And again, here we are. We're going to leave the feet flat first. The idea is to really compare what it feels like. Leave the feet flat, rolling up. We're going to hold it. We're going to extend one leg out. Just hold it for a breath or two. Slowly come back. Maybe lift up a little bit more. And extend the other leg out. And then slowly and gently come up nice and high. And slowly, remember to tuck the tailbone under so we're rolling down. Now we can do that with our heels on the ground as well. Let's see how different that feels. So we're going to roll up immediately. My whole pelvic area feels very strong. Extending one leg out, feels super strong. Let's change legs, do the other one. Slowly come down and again roll, roll, roll. Super slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rib by rib. Fabulous. Let the feet come down. Maybe walk the walk the feet in towards your bottom. Hands go out like a letter T. And as we just roll our legs from side to side, we're kind of rolling the ball between them. We could squeeze a little bit if you wanted to. It's okay, up to you. I just like the fact that this kind of, again, it keeps the legs together. So I find I'm getting a stronger stretch as I lean over on this top thigh, because now it's still kind of connected to the bottom leg, if you like. And again, just let maybe the lower leg decides to go right down to the ground. Maybe it's nowhere near. Your practice, do what feels right for you. Coming back up to centre. So again, I'm kind of rushing through it. I'm just doing 3 or 4 rounds of each one just to kind of demonstrate it. If there's something there you go, oh, that felt really good, then carry on doing it for a little bit longer. Okay, so again, arms can be up beside you or down beside you, whichever works for you. We're just going to draw those knees in towards your chest, squeeze them in, just using the leg muscles, not your hands, and slowly float those toes back down, super slowly. This is where you may want to bring your thumbs under your butt cheeks, so you're kind of supporting your lumbar spine a little bit here, totally up to you. This may be, it doesn't feel too bad this morning, but this may be where I might have put my little blanket there just to sort of support it. So I'm feeling it a little bit more in the core rather than antagonising my lower back. So do what works for you. Slowly come in again. We're going to squeeze it, hold it for a breath or two. And then super slowly, it's the slow releasing that really gets into the lower abdominals. Draw the navel in. Let's do that one more time. Squeeze the legs in. You can squeeze them together as well, so you're getting the outer thighs working. Keep that squeeze going as you slowly, slowly, slowly lower the feet down. Fabulous. Maybe do that one more time with the squeeze. I found that really quite strong that time. So draw the legs in, squeeze them. If you feel like you're trembling a little bit, it's okay. You're not alone. And then super slowly, really feel vertebrae by vertebrae, staying on the ground as you slowly, slowly, slowly lower those legs down. I found that quite strong on the thighs and also in the hip flexors. We're just going to release the ball. I'm going to release that from underneath my back. And then we can just have a little change. Maybe just take it into your hands, or we can just take it, if you have a bigger room than I've got, take it over your head onto the floor and just maybe just bring it up towards your knees. Just very gentle. It doesn't have to be super strong. If you wanted to, you could extend the arms and the legs out and do it a little bit stronger there. So you decide. So that's okay. But what I quite like to do is to put the ball between my knees and to let the feet come to the ground, arms overhead, and just bring those elbows to the knees. A little squeeze here, and then slowly and gently come back. Inhale, squeeze, squeeze the knees, squeeze the elbows to the knees, and release. Inhale, squeeze the knees, squeeze the elbows to the knees. Let's do another 2 rounds here. And again, you can play with this. I have to, if I turn a little bit sideways, what we can do is to straighten the arms and the legs out. So that now you can come right up, curling up, squeeze. Keep the knees squeezing maybe, so you're squeezing the ball all the time. So you can kind of layer it as much as you need it to be. So remember, the option here is with the elbows bent a little bit, the feet on the ground, just slowly coming up, squeezing, or with the legs extended, the arms stretched right out. Draw the navel in, squeeze as you come up. Squeeze everything together. And then slowly and gently release. So now I would probably, having done that several times, different ways, probably bend the knees. And the idea now is that we bring the ball underneath your sacrum. And the idea is we need to feel that the tailbone is kind of falling a little bit further forwards. There are different sizes of these balls, by the way. So if you find you've got one that's quite big, you may find you're balancing around. It's fine, we can still do this. So we're just going to kind of settle down here. So we're in a very supported, gentle little bridge pose. And because this is a bit squidgy, this ball, it kind of feels like it's getting right into the lower back, into the SI joint maybe. And then the hands maybe coming down beside you. The invitation now is to pick the feet off the ground. We could bring the big toe mounds together, maybe let the knees come together. And again, we can take the arms out to the side a little bit. If you feel a bit wobbly, it's okay. You have to engage in the core. Slowly lengthen those legs up into the ceiling. So this is like your legs up the wall pose in yoga, but without the wall. And again, if you go, well, that's okay, but it's a bit uninteresting, then just try lifting your arms up as if you're holding another ball in your hands. We can slowly bend those knees in, and then slowly extend the back up again, keep the big toe mounds together. We can slowly widen those legs. Again, it's got to be a little bit equal, otherwise you're going to wobble all over the place. Oh, like I am. Slowly come back again. And it's like jelly on a plate, isn't it, sometimes? And then we're just going to draw those knees in. And just hug them here. So this then becomes a bit like a kind of upside down child's pose. And you can feel that lovely stretch through the lumbar spine, going through the SI joint. Invitation now would be to hold on to one leg and extend the other leg out, heel on the ground. This is now stretching your psoas muscle on this lengthened side. And we're just going to draw the leg in, squeeze it in, this leg that you've got bent. So I've got my left leg extended, right leg bent in. We could go up to the ceiling with this right leg. So again, trying to get that balance. If you want to work a little bit harder, then you lift that extended leg just off the ground. Slowly lowering it down again, heel on the floor, draw that leg in. Keep this right leg hugged in as you slowly and gently bring the left leg in, and we just change sides. It's going to slowly and gently lift the right leg out to the ceiling, hug the left leg in, and in your own time, slowly really extend out through both heels, so both feet are flexed. Slowly, 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 wobbly as you are, slowly bring your right heel or this heel down to the ground. Again, just take a few moments here. Now I've actually got my foot right up against my piece of furniture, which is quite handy, so I can kind of push in there to feel a bit more stable. Slowly and gently we can lengthen that leg up to the ceiling. If you wanted to work a bit harder, we just pick that heel off the ground. I'm wobbling around, so if you are wobbling, shaking like a leaf on the tree, it's totally fine. Slowly let that heel come down. Slowly draw that leg in. And then what we can do is take the hands out to the side and fully extend out through that second leg. So now both your heels are on the ground. And here we are with this wonderful kind of gently supported kind of back bend. It feels good. So the invitation now might be to bend those knees, lift up the hips. Can we roll the ball a little bit further up? So now you almost feel as if you're kind of trying to sit down on the other side. So now the ball is completely filling the arch in your back of the lumbar spine, maybe coming up to the base of the thoracic spine. Again, we can extend out through the legs here, and maybe feel my butt cheeks are kind of gently touching the floor. So now the stretch is more of the abdominal area that I'm feeling at the front here, stretching from the sternum to the pubic bone. And I can kind of really puff up the rib cage here so it feels like it's really stretched out. And then I can draw it in to feel as if I'm almost trying to kind of narrow the arch of my back. Again, just take as many breaths here as you feel you need to. Slowly bend up. Several options here. Main thing is to try to hold on to your clothing, otherwise you'll get all in a tangle. My suggestion would be to lift up through the head and shoulders and just roll down the ball a little bit. So that as I come back now, the stretch is coming up into the sternum a little bit. It's now it's almost between, not quite between my shoulder blades, between the baseline of my shoulder blades maybe. Tailbone is on the ground. I quite like to come into a cobbler pose here, but that's my choice. It feels quite comfortable. I feel like I'm balancing on the back of my head, so I can slowly and gently maybe allow the shoulders to drop down, draw the chin in. So really feeling this stretch across the diaphragm, through the solar plexus area. Take a couple of deep breaths in here. Soften as much as you can. It's quite hard to soften because everything is extended, but just try. I get the whole concept of trying to soften. I would then lift up my legs, I would lift up my head and shoulders, lift up your hips, and just come down a little bit more. And I forgot the 1 number 1 rule. Making sure your clothing doesn't get caught up. So now the ball is between my shoulders a little bit more. And again, I've still got this kind of back bend from the back of my head to my tailbone. It feels okay. I could maybe tuck the tailbone under, so I'm coming down onto the back of my sacrum. I could maybe draw the chin in a bit. I'm just going to check out how it feels. So now it's very definitely under the chest a little bit. At the back, I can feel it almost kind of squeezing in between those shoulder blades. So again, if you've got room, which I just have, I think, again, we lift up, we roll down a little bit more. I'm going to have to come back in a moment. And now I can just feel that the base of my skull, the back of my head is now supported. So it's definitely upper back now. I can feel the stretches in my throat, across my heart centre, my chest. And if I soften here a little bit more, just the way that this ball is and my body proportions, I can just feel the back of my head coming to the ground. You may want to come up a little bit more so the head's hanging back. We're all different. All different. So now we could actually carry on going forwards. You can, I obviously can't. I'm jammed up against the furniture here. So I'm just going to remove the ball and let it come just so that now my head is kind of supported, as if my nose and my chin are kind of level. Now this is one of my favourite positions, I must admit. And again, I would probably come into my cobbler pose here just because I like it. But I can kind of feel that the ball, because it's so squidgy, and there's only a certain firmness of the ball that you'll ever get, because it will only blow up so much. Soon you take the straw out and then put the stopper in, it will go down to a certain kind of fullness. So it's kind of filling the whole of the back of my neck as I move my head gently, just the back of one ear to the ball, and then maybe the back of the other ear to the ball. And it's like, oh my goodness, that feels delicious. I can draw the chin in, can do an extra little stretch there. I can lift the chin up. And then the idea now would be to be one hand at the back of your head. Slowly and gently lift the ball a little bit further away. So now we're getting our double chin. Sometimes that's okay. And again, the idea now is we're getting a kind of traction in the back of your neck. We can kind of roll the shoulder blades away from the ball. And again, maybe if it feels good, everyone's neck has got its own little quirkiness, so just do what feels right. We can slowly and gently just roll the head gently, side to side. And again, almost feel that each individual vertebrae in your cervical spine is having that little massage. Maybe lift the head up, take the ball out just a fraction more. And again, draw the shoulders away, so that now I feel like that my whole upper back is actually firmly on the ground. And I've got this beautiful stretch. My neck is still in the back bend, it's always, that's this natural curvature, it never changes. But this just feels so good, just taking the base of my skull away from the top of my shoulders. Again, it feels quite nice. I could just do that little gentle moving on my head from side to side. And then suggestion would be to put one hand on the top of your head, remove the ball, keep the chin tucked under as you lower your head back down. One or two things you might feel. You may feel that you need to move your head straight away, or you never want to move your head again. It feels so good. So you just decide. And just coming back to centre. So I'm going to scoot myself away from the wall again. So one of the other things, one of my favourite things actually that I quite like doing, and it is quite a strong movement. I'm a firm believer that we all need to work our core. So for this one, I've moved slightly sideways, so I think I've got enough room. We're going to start with our knees bent, right? So we're building up here. So this is, choose what level you'd like to try at, and just have a little experiment. So the knees are bent. I'm going to keep my head and shoulders on the ground. Just going to draw the knees in, straighten them up a little bit, reach up for the ball, and slowly take the ball to the chest. Let the feet come down. Slowly and gently do the reverse. Put the ball between the feet and slowly come down. May not look very strong, but there's quite a bit of work going on in the core. Second position might be with the legs out, with the arms out behind you. So now you lift up through the head and shoulders. You grab the ball. So now maybe you feel the upper and the lower abdominal muscles working. Slowly come back, point it back. Fabulous. Now we're going to straighten the legs as we bring them up. So we're going to come right up, reaching up, slowly and gently coming back down. Inhale again, lengthen the legs up, reaching up, and slowly coming back down. So the last position, and again, we can do this with bent knees or straight knees. I'm going to go straight for the straight knees. And this is the one that I really do. If I really want to work my core, my students don't always enjoy it because it's the one thing they normally feel the next day. Yoga, very often we don't feel any particular work or response, if you like, the next day because it's all done very gently. This one we do. So the invitation here is that we keep the hip flexors working. So we take the arms overhead, we lift up through the legs. We can keep the head and shoulders on the ground if you like to, and slowly and gently float arms and legs back down. We inhale again. We can lift up through the head and shoulders and super slowly and gently lower back down. Let's do that one again a couple of times. So lifting up Draw the navel in so you can feel all of the abdominal muscles, the upper, the lower, the deeper ones, the more superficial ones. Don't forget to breathe. The temptation when doing something hard or tough is to hold your breath. See if you can keep breathing all the time. Super slowly, super controlled. Fabulous. Now we're going to bring that ball onto our belly again. Whoops. Fighty one today. And we're interlace our fingers again. We're going to bend the knees and again just massage through the abdominal area. Maybe breathe into the belly, lift the ball up, do a little bit of downward pressure as well. Just give a little massage. So there's lots of things that we can do. So we've done all of those on our backs. I apologise for the noise, I don't know if you can hear it, and there are people moving in across the road. And we've had delivery trucks, we've had furniture removals, etc. So I'm going to put this between my heels, actually I'll stay there as you can see, so that when I come back I can actually sit on it. So it becomes like a supported hero's pose. I can sit up nice and tall. The knees are together. If I wanted to, I could just bring the feet out a little bit more maybe. So again, sinking down just a fraction. So now a little bit more like hero's pose with the heels wider than my hips. Just be aware of the strain on your knees. We can remove the block as we come into our child's pose and put the block between your thighs or between your knees. So as you come forwards, your heart centre, your chest is quite possibly leaning on the ball. So again, it gives us a little bit of support and also something for us to breathe into. We do the 1 potato, 2 potato with the hands to support your head on. And almost feel that you're breathing into the ball to expand through the whole depth and width of your upper body. If we come up, we can widen our knees. And coming back into child's pose, the invitation is to take the ball into one hand. So as you come forwards, you just reach out with the ball, let your hand or your wrist rest on it, so that as you kind of come forwards, you're opening a bit more through the shoulder, through the armpit. If you wanted to, you could push down a little bit into the ball, but for me, I just rest my hand or my wrist here. It can come a little bit closer so the fingers are completely relaxed. And just notice how that feels. Of course, if you're going to do one side, then we need to do the other. And as I keep reminding my students, it doesn't always have to be incredibly uncomfortable, incredibly strong. The idea is that because it is still yoga that we're doing here, well, this is what I'm doing. I know these are Pilates balls here, and I can put it under my bottom a little bit to help me sit up nice and tall. But the idea is that we feel the opening of our bodies, maybe, that we feel the release as we kind of rest into the ball or as we lean into it. And I've got it just kind of squeezed underneath my butt cheeks here. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. I could do some side bends, some twists. There's all sorts of ways that I believe that we can use these balls. I think they're fantastic. This is one of the few things I take on holiday when I go away camping. I take out the bungee thing, deflate it, make sure I've got a straw with me. And then it just folds up and goes very easily into a bag. So I think they're great. So if you have got one, I hope that may have given you some ideas. If you do have any more ideas, if you use this, I mean, there are loads more. There's lots of, standing up, doing it in our hands. There's all sorts of things. But these are the ones that I normally use it for when I'm taking it into the class. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have them, please let me know. Just pass me a little comment underneath. Subscribe if you like to. Rosie Lewis Yoga. I have got a few videos out there on the free channel. I do Zoom once a week and I send a video out as well. So if you'd like to get a regular video from me, then please just let me know. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Hope it's given you a few ideas. See you soon. Namaste.